where I had friends growing up that had to. Was so freaking good.
Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome back to an all-new episode here at Let's Talk Lions. We have some guests coming in right now. There are going to be 3 of us tonight. Real quick before I run in, do the intros, I just want to let you all know, quick news, Devin Funchess did suffer a hard hit between, it was the Lions-Colts joint practice today. He had left practice early, so we are awaiting new news. That's right, new news on that. But hey, all 15 of you that are chilling in here, thanks for being here. Frank, I see you. Sir Richard, I see you. Dr. Detroit, my guy, I see you. Thanks for hanging out with us. Today we got Dan, as always, hanging out. And for the first time ever, Reve, welcome to the show.
I'm so excited.
Dude, listen.
This is going to be fun.
So you yourself are a host. You host your own show, I believe, on YouTube. It's called, what's it called?
It's called Everyday Theology.
Interesting.
So yes. So if you're into, whether you're into the Bible or not, but you got theological questions, come hang out with us at Everyday Theology. It's a lot of fun.
I love it. Well, hey, listen, you know a little bit about hosting a show. I know a little bit less about hosting a show. And together, we're going to bring this baby home. We're going to talk a little hard Knox. So, now if I'm not mistaken as well, Reve, you too are a Buffalo Bills fan.
I am. It's a weird story, and I was raised on John Elway and the Denver Broncos, Detroit fan because I grew up here. And then when, as my family was just like, we love Wyoming Cowboys out west. We're all about that life. But when the Broncos didn't draft Josh Allen, my grandpa told our whole family we were Bills fans now. And now I jump through the tables and I haven't looked back.
There it is, Bills Mafia. Dan and I were talking a little bit about that earlier, about what it's going to take to get you to jump through a table on Thanksgiving Day.
Me or Dan?
You.
Oh, you.
Wait, Dan, are you going to be at the game too?
Yeah, I was a big proponent of. We've been talking about this for years. We said whenever the line next time the NFC North is playing us, we are going to make sure that we get out to that Thanksgiving game and. Or the game period, and we were like, Thanksgiving, that is complicated, but we're doing it regardless because we're all coming out from Jersey. And,
yes, well, I will jump through a table for you if you guys want me to.
Oh, just let you know. So now, 20 people heard you say that, so it's happening.
Yeah, fine, it's fine. It's gonna go up on a VOD, so we'll have it. So.
Yeah.
So, question actually, coming from Wyoming, or Wyoming fans. Is there just like a destitute do you guys not have like quarterbacks that come through that are like, what was different about Josh Allen that your grandpa's like, all right, here, like, do they not go to the NFL or like, what's the situation? Because I know it's a small school.
So here's the hard part. So like my dad and his whole family are from Colorado.
Oh no, Ruv. Oh, she's back.
So like am I there?
You're back.
Okay. So it's just like really difficult to like balance a lot of my sports teams when it comes to college football. So a lot of the stuff I hear about Wyoming is just from my dad and from my grandpa. And so I don't know what it was. I think they just thought he was a stud and they liked how he had like
he is a
work
stud,
ethic
so
and all of that. Yeah. So I think they just were
cool.
like, they were really into it. And my grandpa, I mean, he's no longer with us, but I feel like I need to carry that torch. And so as long as Josh Allen is on the Bills, they've got a fan in me.
Let's go.
Well, I mean, realistically, by the time that he's out, you'll be sold. So you're just going to be in it for the long haul.
For the long haul. He's going to be around forever,
right.
Man.
Yeah, he's never actually going to die or not be in the NFL, so.
Right. I never thought this is what my life would come to, where I'd be like, I'm in the Bills Mafia. Like, never.
I'm a degenerate, so okay, cool.
Hey, shout out to Lions fan, one Paulie LFP. Thanks for the donation, my man. Dan Campbell's the best coach in the NFL, coming from him. You know what? I would have to say, once we see those W's start translating, it's an absolute yes. Right now, character, everything about him is incredible, but I do want to see some W's. He's the most fun. He's the most fun
coach to watch in the entire NFL ever. This Hard Knocks has been. It needs more of him.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
every episode needs more of him.
It was pretty limited.
Dan Campbell is like how Shania Twain is for girls, Dan Campbell is for guys.
Okay, break it down.
Yeah, give me some explanation because I agree with you immediately, but for no reason.
So when you hear the beginning of like, man, I feel like a woman, it's like dun, 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 and then she's like, let's go girls, and you're like, I can do anything. Like I can do anything because Shania told me. Dan Campbell is the same way. The man can say anything, and you guys are like, I will jump through a wall.
Yeah, 100%.
Wow.
Yeah, he's like, you need grip, man. You're like,
Nailed
okay,
it.
fine. I'm sorry, I suck.
Yeah. Reve, did not think about that. That is an excellent. That's an excellent
great.
point.
That is a very interesting comparison there.
My take on football is a little different, but it's still fun.
But that's why you're here today, is because obviously I know that you are. You love football, but you also love the TV world, the production world, and so I figured we could probably
Shania Twain.
We could glean a lot from you.
Oh, we're on a first name basis. My bad.
Yeah.
Shania. I mean, you get football, which is like so cool, and I love, and then you have reality TV, which is like my other favorite thing. Like, and you combine them into one. Like, here we are, and then you've got Detroit as the backdrop. I just feel like it can't get any better.
This is heaven for you. I mean, as a Lions fan, this is heaven in general. I do want to throw a shout out to Batman dropping 5 bones, saying that Hutch was a W. It's true because I don't know, both of you guys. I know Dan, you were watching the preseason game. I don't know if you caught any of it, Reve, but Hutchinson looking good, and I know it was just two plays that we saw out of him, 3. However, in that, man, is there a beast within him. Now
I want to hate him.
Why?
Because he looks like a D-bag. But he seems so kind.
So kind.
He's so loved in the locker room. And he freaking studded out last weekend.
And bro, like for years.
As a rook.
Against
rookie. Ones.
Thank you. It was an all-pro tackle that he just absolutely swim him. And I understand, like, the guy looked like he didn't even put his hands up. However, doesn't matter. Hutch made the move, was able to get to the running back. And I'm like, for years, we haven't had somebody who's able to get to the quarterback. This is huge for Detroit. Now, before we start breaking down the game and all that stuff, I do want to hear both of your thoughts regarding this episode, this last episode of Hard Knocks. Some of your favorite moments, and then maybe some moments that you were like, I wanted more, or it just wasn't there. But let's walk us through. Reve, kick us off. Maybe one of your favorite moments from Hard Knocks episode 2.
My favorite moment was Amon-Ra St. Brown's dad. He needs to be protected at all costs. And I just thought it was really interesting to just kind of on the outside looking in. I didn't realize that like every player's parents doesn't get a luxury box or doesn't get to like hang out. Like I didn't realize. I thought they just chose. I thought they just chose to like sit in the stands and like be a part of the people. So to hear that comment where he was like, he got 23 million, they in a luxury box. I just was like, this man needs. I would watch him. I'd watch him every day. Give me 9 seasons. Let's go.
Wow.
Bobby, when we were at the Jets game, actually, they were the row behind. And we got garbage seats. It's like row 300 or something, like in the upper tier. Yeah. And they were a row behind Ryan Bates' family in the Bills game. So not everybody, they had the crap of the crap seats.
But I did love him. I thought it was interesting, though. I want to go back to what you were talking about with Aiden Hutchinson in the game, because I found this to be a little interesting. Because I did get to catch part of the game, and I thought he did a really good job. But then when you watch the game on Hard Knocks, and then you see kind of like their response to it, the behind the scenes, the guy was in the game for like 4 minutes, and he comes off the field and he's like, yeah, I lost a lot of endurance there. And I was like, bro, what are we paying you a $23 million signing bonus for if you can't last 4 minutes in a football game? Like, I'm not saying I can either, but I also don't have $23 million.
Backing you up to get out there and play like a dog. Interesting.
Exactly. So I found that to be a little interesting. So, I mean, I don't know. I thought maybe we need to figure out a way to build up their endurance a little bit.
Okay, a little strength and conditioning. Yeah. Now, Reve, this one goes out to you. Real Housewives of Detroit, we need it.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
Please.
All right, just imagine that would have been Kelly Stafford for the last 8 years.
Yeah, but
You know what though?
Do you want that?
I will take that over Jared Goff's fiance any day. Like.
Oh, you can sell them both. I don't know. Get them all in there.
The Real Housewives of Detroit would be fun, especially because there'd probably be some NFL wives on there for sure. And then that could like bring in, the guy viewers because they want to see like the inside lives of their favorite football team. I think that's why everybody loves Hard Knocks is because you're seeing like what these people are really like.
See, and that's interesting you bring that up because like the amount of time spent on Hard Knocks. So Andrea and I watched it, and we did we pulled out a stop clock because we wanted to see that scene where Hutch is out there, and then they keep going to the family up in the box. We both, I don't know about you guys, but we were like, I feel like they're spending a lot of time the family themselves.
They were cringe.
And
they were so cringe.
It was a little cringy to the point where Andrea was like, I want to just watch the guy play. And so we stop clocked it. The amount of time that we saw, it was the family got $1.50 in that scene, 1 minute 50 seconds, and Hutch got $2.41. And so you're looking at like that's a lot of time spent on the family, which I thought was fascinating. Didn't like it.
No,
Yeah,
it was
we
bad.
can pass. We're done.
The whole
don't
time I
even
was
feel
like, I'm
Hutchinson's
trying to
anymore.
like you because you seem like a good dude, and you're like, let's just have his sisters talk about like how much he's the greatest. It was like, okay,
It was too much.
Yeah, we can do without their family now. And I'm now you guys let me know about this because I am not as up to date on Hard Knocks as I should be, like, in general. But do they always try to focus on like certain key big name players or rookies, or are they trying to show the guys who are like really hustling to earn their spots? Like, what is their kind of vibe in that?
Yeah, I would say, Dan, maybe you would differ from me, but I feel like it all depends on the team and the stories that are there that year, right? Because like Dallas last year, they were big on Ezekiel Elliott's return,
right? Because he's coming back.
Yeah, and Dak's return.
And Dax is coming back, and yeah, it's wildly story driven. Like you saw, just like even this week, the Rodrigo stuff. Like they spent a good amount on Rodrigo. Man's a freaking dog, and I love it.
A dog.
I love going into your freaking position room and the dude just pouring on him and him just sitting there. The way he kept his composure while this dude just is like, y'all should be like this guy. Like, I would not have been like, oh man.
Yeah,
like,
I would have been smiling
all
so
over the
big.
room. Yeah, like he. But at the same time, so they saw a story there to say, okay, we have a prospect that is looking good. Let's follow this. It's even in the way the narration is going on, it's set like a dramatic piece almost of like, what is the story route we can find here?
Right.
Like, who can give us the story, not just coverage. But that's why, like, the Rodrigo stuff, and it gets your heart and it pulls you a little bit, and it's great. And you're like, this is why I love Hard Knocks. Like, that's why I was annoyed that MCDC wasn't as much in this episode, because I was like, that guy pulls me all over the place.
That's why people are tuning in.
Shania Twain.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Bingo.
you go to a Shania Twain concert, and it's all about Rodrigo and Hutchinson's sister.
Stop.
Okay, but wait, I have a question then on the Rodrigo thing. How would you feel if you were sitting in the locker room or whatever room they were in, the linebacker room, and you're sitting there and the coach is basically like trying to give you a compliment, but it's a little bit backhanded in the fact to the other guys to be is like kicking your butt, and then he's like, what round draft were you? What round draft pick were you? And
Yo.
like, I would have been so uncomfortable. I'd be like, do you just need me to leave? Like,
Yeah. But you know what?
So awkward.
Sorry, you go.
No, I was just gonna say, Reve, you're right, and what's so crazy about it is they do a quick cut to Jared Davis. Jared Davis is sitting there, and he was our first round pick a couple years back.
Yeah.
And he is playing so terribly to the point where he went away. We didn't give him a 5th-year option. He goes to the Jets last year. He comes back here. So you have a 1st and a 6th-round pick sitting together, and they do that cut to Jared Davis, and I was like, oh my God, they just showed him. They showed him. I know.
Yeah, you're like,
It was brutal.
But it's also, even the way the coach is speaking in that room is like a testament to the culture that's being bred or has been bred and is being built in Detroit.
Yeah.
You see the way MCDC talks to people. I'm sorry, I don't know all the position coaches and everything, but the I think it was in the RB room.
Yes.
The running, that dude dogged Swift.
Yeah.
Swift he should be a top at minimum 5 to 10 running back in the freaking league.
Yes.
And the dude's like, I see this in you,
and
you're not performing, and you need to sort this out.
Yeah.
And like, it blew my mind that a dude was just so raw and just being like, hey, you are not playing well enough to not even to meet our standards, to meet what should be your own. And it's like, it's been a freaking awesome thing to watch, because it's from every position, every coach, everybody they're interacting with. That's the culture they're breeding.
For sure. I feel like, what's his name? Deuce is like, my whole life mission is to make DeAndre Swift the best running back in the league. And I will die until I will die on this hill.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you know what's super cool about it is you have DeAndre Swift, who's now, granted, we hate Philadelphia, but he's from Philly, and then Deuce Staley, who played for Philly. So there's like that bond that the two of them have with Philadelphia being the home. And so I think that makes it also so much more intriguing to me to be like, wow, this is cool to see that, like, he's almost treating him in a way like a son. Obviously not, but there's
and the thing is league wide and like in the fantasy community, everybody talks about DeAndre Swift currently as like a frustration for the most part of like this, like he should be top 5 backs off the board.
Absolutely.
And obviously like you guys are sorting your O-line, you're sorting a lot of stuff going on as a position. But to watch him just dog the dude in front of the rest of the room being like, hey, and he's saying, you're our RB1. And he's dogging him. You know, it's like you go to the Bills and like if Diggs had a bad freaking practice and he's coming in, he's saying, you need to be better than this. And like obviously Swift doesn't have the contract and everything like that. He's still young. But
yeah,
like,
but even him blowing through that hole in the game, scoring the TD, and then Deuce is like, "Yo, what do you say? You have to be disciplined." Like he's still hitting them hard. Where it's like, you did.
It's like, you had to see it. It wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
So
the thing is like you guys have to, right? You're hungry.
Yeah, and I want to know what you guys think too. Just like, what do you think is holding DeAndre Swift back? Like, why do you think he is not where he needs to be right now?
So first off, I would say he has suffered too many injuries too often.
Early.
Yeah, like early. He has like these little things that have happened, and one, it's like the O-line has struggled with health as well, therefore he takes a greater beating. But then there's the aspect of he's also this type of guy who's a dog who's going to puts his shoulder down and he plows through, and therefore like the injuries are going to hit him a little bit quicker, a little bit harder, and that's something.
And I think a lot of time with his running routes, he doesn't always pick the right choice.
Yes.
He picks the whatever, or maybe not the best choice or whatever.
Right.
But he could, like, even this the way he. Sorry, my dog's going.
You're good. You're good.
It's like running into stuff, and like I watched Zach Moss do it in the pregame for the Bills. He ran straight into his own freaking O-line's back, and then he still got a 10-yard gain. It was a really great run, but you're like, all right, cool. What could have that been? You know, and so I think a lot of that is that. But like, I obviously, you know, none of us have played. We can only imagine, but I couldn't imagine getting into the NFL and trying to learn a playbook, learn your system, learn everything with an O-line that is suffering and like trying to you're in a rebuild and you're coming out as this huge expectations in a rebuild. And then on top of that, you're riddled with injuries. Yeah. So like you have this potential, you have this process, you have all this stuff, and you're sidelined trying to nurse an injury. You know, I couldn't imagine trying to deal with that with all the other stuff he's taken on. Like, it's a tough situation.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, we are no football playing experts here.
Yeah, and like even Steve-O just dropped in the chat. He said Swift looks to hit the home run and might lose a yard instead of hitting the hole for 3 yards. He does look for those home run hits every time. And that's where I really appreciated Deuce being like, hey, listen, you're going to get there. But like really walking him through the process of how to get there the right way. Which is
a lot of
his coaching style in that too, kind of being like, hey, you tell me. So like that makes them kind of think like, okay, I gotta process through this and know what I did. I appreciated it.
Absolutely.
When you have to look at people who control what operation of the play is going to actually happen, right? So a receiver is receiving, they're reacting to the action of somebody else. Dude, chill out. He's a psychopath. But so you look at quarterbacks, they dictate the play, right? You look at running backs in a similar way. They have a scheme, they have a route, they have XYZ, but like they're in control when they have the ball in their hand.
Yeah.
And so you see that with young quarterbacks a lot of the time. They say, oh, the game hasn't slowed down for me yet. They're looking for the big plays. They're spending too much time. They're not checking down to where they need to. They don't get to see through their 1, 2, 3s and like get to where they need to get yardage, walk the ball down the field, right? And so a lot of time I think early with running backs is he's looking for those big gains rather than taking what's handed to him, because his check down in his mental process, he needs to slow the game down, and that just comes from reps. Yeah,
absolutely. Now, something regarding Hard Knocks. First of all, for those of you who are here hanging out with us, we have a longtime longtime friend of the show, Dan, hanging out, representing Bill's Mafia. And today we have somebody new, Rave. Thank you for joining us as well. Huge into both football, but also the reality TV world. And so we wanted to get her opinion on Hard Knocks. Speaking of which, the opening scene leading into Frank Ragnow fishing. Can we get a little bit more of that?
Go.
Okay, I sent Jay a video that I saw that Frank had posted, and it was an extended cut of that fishing expedition. Yeah. And little did we know, Jared Goff was on the boat with him.
What?
Fishing.
They didn't even show him?
No, and it literally is the funniest. It is the funniest video
it was good.
I think I've ever seen. Well, not ever seen, but it is up there.
It was great.
Jared Goff wants to be a fisherman so bad, and you can tell he's trying so hard, and Frank's just dogging him the whole time because he if you guys have not checked it out, go to Frank Ragnow's Instagram profile. It is on there. You will not be disappointed. It's a great
funny.
2 minutes.
And Dan, you would appreciate it because you're a big fisherman. So it's Goff is trying to set the hook and he keeps ripping the stick. It's so good.
Oh, jeez. Well, that's what they did.
So funny.
They did one of the Bills embedded or whatever they call it. They had they had Gabe Davis going out fishing. I just sucked it up, so I'll have to find that.
Yeah. Gabe Davis is a good fisherman.
He was on Hot Ones and he got all the answers right.
Yeah, that was a great Hot Ones episode.
It was fun.
And, Isaiah McKenzie.
Yeah,
right?
Isaiah McKenzie. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. But
fun.
I don't know. I just sat there and I was like, I want more of Frank Ragnow fishing. They almost they just kind of teased it, more was coming. But I think looking at this story as a whole, I was so interested in Amon-Ra St. Brown. What a dog he is to know the 16 guys ahead of him.
Dude, I literally texted you. I was like,
that was wild.
I don't know if they edited it and he memorized this. I was like, but it seems legit.
Dude.
And that's nuts.
And that's why he plays like he does.
Knows.
Yeah.
100% believe that was not some type of edited thing. That man. And the fact that he had such a great rookie season and now it's his sophomore season and he's I'm still bitter about this.
Dude.
I'm all right, dude, let's go. And then you meet his dad, and it's just, you see the whole picture, and it's just great.
Yeah, when his dad was talking about Kevin Durant and the calf raises, he called him out. He's like, oh, you're not doing your calf raises at home? I was like, this guy's funny. I didn't know he was Mr. Universe twice.
Yeah, well, then I was like, you were lifting weights as very young. That does not look. And I was like, I don't know anything. He's Mr. Universe. It's fine.
Yeah.
I never took steroids. I know nothing.
I mean, speaking of families, what did you guys think of David Blough and Melissa Gonzalez's segment?
Dude, personally loved it. I loved it.
He could be so good. Oh, God. He looks so good.
Yeah, had he not fumbled that ball, oh, my God. When you look at Blough, first of all, them and their relationship I thought was just really sweet to get an inside track on. Because I was like, wow, there's something really different about them. They have a very genuinely sweet, because you know how some people play up to the camera, we saw maybe the Hutchinson family in the old suite. You're playing to the camera. They just seemed very genuinely, sincerely, absolutely in love with one another and pushing each other to be better people. So I thought that was outstanding.
I think that because he's your 2 or your 3.
Okay, so he should be our 2.
He should be 2.
No, you have what's his name?
Boyle.
What's his name? Tim.
Tim Boyle.
Yeah, Tim Boyle. He's from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and it's fine. No, so if you could plan around Blough being a backup, I would have design runs out the butt for him. He's kind of shifty dude.
Yeah.
He's got some wheels.
Yeah, well, you saw him move up in the pocket and then be able to chuck the ball.
It looked great. Yeah, and I was like, I would design runs for him and have that, once you guys formate stuff, dump down passes and Swift and him just trying to, figure that out.
Yeah.
God forbid Goff goes down. But
God forbid. Literally.
Yo.
Ooh.
Yeah, that would pretty much murder our entire season. I mean, and it was tough because obviously, Reve, you bring up Blough and seeing his frustration, them really showing that, like, I don't know, sometimes when I watch the game of football, it's a game of football, and these guys are simply people that I can rip apart for playing poorly or this and that, and like forgetting the human side to it, and really seeing his wife in the stands and being like, you could tell her as a competitor how much she was feeling for him after he fumbled that ball. I was like, man, this is tough. This is tough to see.
Yeah.
So I can vouch for David and Melissa. So I have a few friends who are mutual friends with them, very close friends with them, actually. And every time they speak of David and Mel, that they are just like the literal best humans. They really are. And like what you see is very genuine. I went on Twitter after the episode aired last night, and a few people were like, I don't know why this guy's playing it up, being all upset and this and that. And I'm like,
no, it did look shot.
He's a genuine person.
Yeah, that seems so genuine.
I like the genuine side of things. I don't really feel like Tim Boyle does anything for me. Like, I don't feel connected to him. I don't feel like he cares about being here. Like, I think he's just playing in the NFL wherever he lands, and maybe controversial, I don't know, but
no, I agree.
I just
well,
feel
people have to
like
remember it's reality television. It's not like these guys are paid actors. Right. You're gonna be able to put on that performance, both of you, when you're freaking running the Olympics or whatever you do, and you're a third string quarterback for the Lions. Right. You also have time to take acting classes. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. You just never know. But like, I just feel like when you think of like what Detroit stands for and what Detroit represents, like David Blough is that. Like, he's very much, and they love living here. And the only reason they don't live here full time is because she has to train for the next Olympics. Like, so they have to go some other places.
Right.
And she has to do her other races. But I mean, they're committed. They were at Oak Park High School running the track. Like, that's the kind of stuff we like to see here in Detroit.
Yeah. No, that's wild. That's a great insight there, Reve. Appreciate that.
That's why, now, Dan, I've talked to Jay about this, but I have a bit of a conspiracy about Jared Goff and his connection to the city of Detroit, and like why he might be struggling here.
Besides the Lions. Yeah.
Hey, whoa.
No, I just feel like he's not connected here either. Like, you look at Matthew and Kelly Stafford, and this was their home. This is where they lived. This is where they had their kids. This is where their kids went to school up until they moved. You even have Kelly now saying, being in LA, being like, I need to get back to Detroit because these people out here are crazy. Yeah. And then you have Jared Goff and his fiance, who I'm sure are wonderful people, but they're coming from that California lifestyle. She's a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model. Like, you've got this whole high energy, and then you come to a city where people are like middle-class workers and they're like hustling hard, and you got to figure out how you're going to connect with these people in the same way that Matthew did to like leave a legacy. And I just feel like by you rolling into town right before season starts, peacing out back to LA right after, like, you're not really connecting with the people here. You may be doing some charitable things. That's awesome. We love that. But like, there's no connection. And so then you get mad when people are like, we hate Goff. People didn't love Matthew Stafford because he was the quarterback winning us games. He was the quarterback who loved this city. Yeah. And so that's where I think that disconnect is.
I feel also like from an outside, there's a lot of Lions fans who blamed Stafford for what was going on, which blew my mind because he was no part of it. Like, from the top down, there were issues.
Correct.
I mean, I guess from an outside, like having no connection besides Jay and just being a side fan and enjoying it because of him. Goff doesn't. I wouldn't want, if I was a Lions fan, I wouldn't want Goff to be bought in. I wouldn't care if he was or not. To me, he's a transitional quarterback. He's not a franchise quarterback. The he's already had a career. Like, you guys are looking towards the future, right? So for me, like, it wouldn't hurt me at all. He's a rental. Like, he's going to be, after he leaves the Lions, he'll probably be a backup unless the Seahawks decide they want somebody proper throwing the ball. I don't know. But, like, I don't see him that way. And I think that Lions fans have both in. I don't know if anybody who believes in him really sees him as a savior to Detroit as far as quarterback goes.
Sure.
That's an interesting point.
They see him as a stepping stone to the next. Because, like, you're in a rebuild. Yeah. He is a great rebuild quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't
you can get W's with them. And I think that's where like both of you are right, because Dan, you're on the peripheral where, you know, you're a Lions fan through me.
Adjacent.
Yeah. Same way I'm a Bills fan through you and Bob. And so like for you, there's definitely a different experience. Whereas Lions fans, like Reve is saying, as much as like Kelly Stafford wasn't my cup of tea, you could say.
Yeah.
However, you are correct, Reve. Like seeing her be like, she actually cared about the city, cared about the people, and was not just verbally there, but like her action was there. And when you see this girl, what's her name, Kristen Harper?
Sure.
I think it's Kristen Harper.
No, it is. It is.
There's no connection to Detroit, and so with Goff, it's a weird feeling as a Lions fan when you're like, Goff and his girl, they don't love the city the way, you know, Matthew did, because Matthew was what,
fair,
22?
But they weren't drafted in the city.
Exactly.
They were traded away from a place they were happy with. Like for me, like when Tyrod came through Buffalo, it's not like, oh man, he's gonna.
Yep.
I hope you buy in. Like it was,
and he got you to the playoffs for the first time in.
And he was Tyrod. He's great. Then he went over and got his lung punctured, and it's like whatever. But
on purpose?
There's still. I mean, look at Herbert now. But like I have a love for Tyrod. I was appreciative that he was there. He did what the city needed for the time being. But like you don't see him doing anything for the city now. Like and that was the thing. It was like it wasn't for me, and that's from perspective. And also like I don't live in Buffalo, so maybe other people are more hurt. But I believe that that's kind of what the culture kind of like sees it as. And I think it's just understanding. It can be frustrating but appropriate at the same time.
Absolutely.
But you also kind of want a quarterback that your city like would get behind. I mean, like, look at Josh Allen with the Bills. And I know this is a little bit, we're comparing apples and oranges here, but I mean, like, that man could be like, I'm taking up sewing, and Bills Mafia would be like, let's jump through a table. Like, he's sewing. We love him. What do we do to hype him up? And then you have, like, some of those other cities where they, like their quarterbacks, and they're like, yeah, it's fun, whatever. Because, like, I don't know how connected LA is to Matthew Stafford outside of the fact that they won him he won them a Super Bowls on that team, but you know, you kind of want that vibe. Like, you want that guy that you can, like, get behind, that's hype. And maybe it isn't Jared Goff. Maybe it is MCDC.
Well, I think that's what
Dan Campbell.
Yeah. But I think for the Bills, like, Josh was drafted.
Yeah. He was chosen.
He was finally accepted, I hope, last year. There was still a lot of Bills Mafia that wanted Rosen. Blew my mind.
The wrong Josh.
Yeah, but like he was chosen by their organization, and then is planned out to be the franchise quarterback. Goff was never wasn't chosen at all, besides taking a trade. But like he's not the franchise quarterback of the Lions. Like we even talk about, like, I remember Jay and I with the draft, people were like, let's pick up Pickett or blah blah blah. We were like, not this year, not this year.
Yeah. Because Goff has the capability, I really think, to lead this team, to be that piece where we have all the other pieces around him, because we saw what he could do in LA, but he long term, like the guy for the Detroit Lions.
Price tag that's on there for the
there's a lot there, man.
Transition. There's too much, but there's still, like, you know what you're getting. And that's what you want when you're trying to do a rebuild. You want to know, okay, at least I know what I should be getting out of this position, the leading position.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing. It's like I bet it's super frustrating for Lions fans to not have a guy who's buying into the town. But at the same time, like, I don't think any communication to him was like, hey, we want you to be here for 10 years.
Yeah.
True.
Brad Holmes obviously loves him. Brad Holmes was a part of the talent scout when he was picked up in LA. Well, I guess they were St. Louis at the time. But so, like, Brad Holmes comes here, obviously sees Goff as a good transitional piece. Penultimate is saying it. I'm seeing it in the chat. Goff is great for right now. I'm seeing some people really like Goff. Obviously, there's like he definitely looks zeroed in, and I'm excited for a Goff-centric Hard Knocks episode. That's
what I need.
Yeah, that would be good.
Because I will tell you, I appreciated seeing him fishing with Frank, and that was like
they didn't even show it. Yeah,
they didn't even show it.
Yeah, that makes me so annoyed.
Oh, it's so good, and it made me be like, oh, I kind of maybe I was wrong about this guy. Like maybe I was wrong about this guy. Maybe my theories aren't correct, which I love to be proved wrong as well. So like, I don't know, I would love it. But okay, so here's a question with Hard Knocks now, because isn't a round of cuts coming pretty soon?
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
So are we gonna be
every week there was a round of cuts 2 days ago. So,
so are we gonna be, well, yes, but like, are we gonna be seeing? You think we're gonna be really seeing like a lot of that in episode 3? Like, are we gonna see the process of that and like see these people be devastated as they leave Allen Park, Michigan?
It's a good question. I doubt that we're going to get that big of a look with the Detroit Lions. We might see a guy or two, but I doubt we're going to get a deep dive because of the way that they're building up the Lions right now. I can't really see them. They could do it, but I don't really foresee them being like, let's really get into the nitty-gritty of the cuts, because that's a hard thing. Unless somebody flips a table, I don't know if we're going to get to see it.
Okay. That's interesting. What did you guys think of Dan Campbell when he was talking about to the team on the sideline, and he's like, even if you're not playing, I don't want to see you out of uniform.
I loved it.
I loved it too. I was a big fan.
No, and literally to the point, like Andrea is watching it with me, and she was like, "Okay, yeah, I see. That's amazing." Like she was blown away by that.
He's walking on the field while they're practicing. He's a player's coach. He's a player's coach. He knows. All right. So I know we're wrapping up soon, so I want to make sure we get this in.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the fact that Jamal Williams is the new quote machine? The dude has stuff to say. All right, I have two.
Love him.
If you're gonna piss like a puppy, stay on the porch and let the big dogs F it. I was like,
let's go.
And then we had another one. We're running through your body like diarrhea. Drip, drip, AG.
Yeah, okay.
What are you saying? I was like, you're an absurd human.
He also, like John Brown, needs to be protected at all costs. The closing image of him and what's that other guy's name? Who was at the end with him at the very end, and he was like telling a joke, and they made this face. I screened. I took a picture of it, and I will now be using it.
Oh yeah.
I'm telling you, I went to Jay knows this. I went to Lions training camp one of the days, and I took my friend's kid with me, and as they were warming up, Jamal was just like out there playing catch, and he played catch with my friend's son for a little bit, and he was just like a whole vibe. He was so nice. He was just like hyping the crowd up. Yeah. I'm like, I love this guy.
Yes.
He's got a face, and I'm like, I just want to be friends with you.
Oh, 100%.
Like, you're just like, I would love to hang out and grab a beer.
Dude, rolling D20s with him, could you imagine?
Oh, heck yes.
I was going to say, he plays Dungeons and Dragons for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And now we are getting ready to wrap up here, but I do see, Gray Ford coming in saying Jared Goff wins 2 playoff games. Detroit should give him a key to the city and a statue. I'm here for it, Gray, because Matt Stafford didn't get us 1 playoff win. So, just saying.
Also did get a super chat from fan one Polly.
Yes.
If Jared Goff is terrible, he's done in Detroit.
Yeah.
So the both sides of the spectrum still exist.
100%. All right. Oh, yes. Thank you. I see Joseph McAllister. He was saying it was Big V, Reve. He was talking to Big V.
Yes. Okay, thank you. I couldn't remember who it was, and I was like, who was he talking to? And it completely slipped my mind. So thank you.
Absolutely. Love it. Hey, there's 52 people in here. Thank you guys for liking the stream, for hanging out, for taking this through the algorithm cyberspace to where we always needed to go. Before we finish up here, Reve, what is one thing that you want out of Hard Knocks for the rest of this season that we get to see with Detroit? What's one storyline that you're looking for?
You know what? I kind of am bought into this Rodrigo storyline. I kind of want to see if he becomes a starter. Like, I really feel like he is hustling. He's doing really well. I don't know, that baby face he's got just gets me.
He's
think
cute.
that
he's a cutie.
He's a little cutie, and I'm really bought into his story. I will tell you too, though, one thing I would like to see less of is Aiden Hutchinson's family.
Boom.
We're good.
Oh my god!
Boom.
Thank you.
Boom.
I'm fine with seeing him.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a big
I want to
fan
see
of
him.
I don't really care about his family anymore. Like,
Yeah.
I really
Or
don't.
if you're going to show us, just give us better cuts. I'm not going to say that I'm a videographer or anything, but give us better cuts. Don't linger on the family.
Let me just
for
stand at you
45
in the
seconds.
stands and just show how you guys just look like.
Yeah. No. We need
Leave it
to.
alone.
I agree, Reve. You are correct.
Yes.
Less of Hutch's family.
Yeah,
More
for sure.
Rodrigo. Real quick before we head to Dan for what you want, Mike Barlow coming in saying outside perspective, not a Detroit fan. Detroit is all about rebuilding and working hard for it. I think Goff has a shot at the town. Let's go.
Okay, let's mark that down, and then we might.
That's
have
another
to
Bills
circle
fan
back
over there.
to it. We
Yeah.
might have to circle back.
We are circling back for sure. Dan, what's one thing that you want to see? What's one storyline that you're hoping for throughout the rest of Hard
All right,
Knocks?
I'm gonna take this another look, and it's something that has to do with the entire stinking organization that needs to get fixed. Those damn Gatorade towels. The color code is not the same as your jersey colors, and it's a freaking atrocity.
Oh.
If
Okay.
you watch, I swear they're a different color.
Where in this episode? Where is it?
I don't know. It was at the end. I put down a note, and it really. I mean, maybe it's because of the fabric. It's a different fabric. I can give them a break, but and maybe it's my TV. And I'm not saying that. I know
Maybe.
it.
Bro, I gotta
No,
look
but
that
that's
up.
good for them to know. Like, if any Lions,
I was like, holy.
C-suite people are watching, that is something they need to take note of, because you need things to match the NFL colors. Everyone knows they're very, very specific per
Yeah.
When you
team,
can't
and-
name it, you can't name it Honolulu Blue and not have it everywhere.
Yeah, you gotta. They should only
and
be
I-
drinking Honolulu Blue Gatorade too.
Ooh.
Yes,
That's
they
true.
Should figure that out.
That's true.
Yeah, and the other thing, I'm really excited this weekend. You guys are playing the Colts. It's more of a comforting thing for me. I think you guys will show up well. I hope you do well. But it is encouraging if we get some ones-on-ones and you guys lose, because maybe that means we won't get devastated on Thanksgiving when the Lions kick the Bills' butts.
Ooh.
No. Here's the thing. The Lions can win every other game they want this season, but I am convinced that not only is this the year the Buffalo Bills make it to the Super Bowl and win, but I am convinced that when Josh Allen does it, he is the next Dan Marino. He is going to go undefeated, and that means we have to.
That is a hot take. Oh my!
It is. It's a
I'm
hot
here for
take.
it. I'm
It's
here
a
for it.
bold take.
On
It's a
this side
bold
of the
take.
Bills fans, we're all way more negative. Bobby and I
Yeah.
are just like,
It's a
we're gonna
bold
lose
take, but
against the
let me tell
Jaguars
you,
again.
Dude.
I can
That's
I
great.
can just feel it. I just feel it in my bones. It's happening. I'm not
Bills
I'm
fans
just-
need some positivity, so
Yeah.
we'll take it.
Hey, every fan base does. Because Reve, that is true. Whenever I hang out with Dan and Bobby, they're like, don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. It's not going to go well. Always looking at the pessimistic side, because there's this is the one nice thing about being a Lions fan, is when you're like, you're fighting from the bottom up. So there's always this, like, let's go get them, compared to when everybody's crowning the Bills as like, oh,
It
Super
gets
Bowl.
uncomfortable up there, bud.
It's uncomfortable. I'd be like, I don't want this. This is too much.
You're
I
like,
like being
no,
an
not
underdog.
us.
See, I had it though with like when Peyton was at the Broncos, like, and at that height, like, I had that feeling with my family, and I just knew I didn't think he would go undefeated, but I was like, the Broncos are winning the Super Bowl this year, and they did. So I don't know.
Interesting.
All right, so she knows. So
know.
hey,
Hey.
send it in, guys. Everybody put your
Don't hold
put
me
your bets
to it.
in.
Don't hold me to it. But if we
FanDuel
have
does
enough-
$1,000 match or return or whatever.
Oh, you heard it here. Dang. Well, hey, listen.
It's an exclusive.
Thank you, guys. I can't thank you both for being on here enough. You guys are awesome. This was such a good show. Way to recap the Hard Knocks episode. From me, I want the Jeff Okuda comeback story. That's what I want to see. I want
Okay, I
I
can see
want them
that.
to give me something to believe in, like Robert the Bruce in Braveheart. But that is it. That is it for today. We will be back next week where we continue to break down Hard Knocks. Reve, thank you for being here. For those of you who didn't hear earlier, you can go check out, she is a host of a show called Everyday Theology on the YouTubular. Check it out. It's a great show. A lot of fun. You do a great job at hosting.
Thanks.
Thank
You
you
do a great job at editing it.
What are you talking about? And Dan, thanks for being around as always.
Anytime, my friend.
And we will be
Go
back.
Lions.
Go Lions. Go Bills.
Let's go.